Hello everyone, this is Rick Sadler with Hit and Run Candlesticks. I want to welcome everybody here. I've got a video I'd like to post out here, and I hope everybody watches it. Today's date is June 21, 2025. It's a Saturday, and I just thought I would get this first of two weekend editions coming out. This will be the first one. All right, let's talk about the market. Last week was, we had a holiday in the middle of the week. We had Mr. Powell speaking. We had problems over in the East there. It was just, this past week was a nothing burger is what it was, an absolute nothing burger. And I think going forward, trading is going to get a little better. It was just so slow last week. Before we start taking a look at charts, please bear with me right here. I have an open house coming up on Tuesday, June 24th. That's just coming Tuesday. You can find the link in the chat below the video to register. Here's a list of a few things we're going to be covering. And we're also going to be doing, I'm going to say mini classes, mini classes. On the 3-8 trap, the rounded bottom breakout, the pinball setup, a blue ice failure, pullback opportunities, what we call a PBO, and trending continuation pattern, and the pop out of the box. So if you're interested in learning any one of those, now please keep in mind they're going to be mini classes because we're going to be doing it during the day while we're trading, but I will be doing these throughout the day and answering all your questions. So anyway, Tuesday, June 24th, coming up here. We start at 8:45 in the morning, and we'll go to 4:15. You can come in anytime you like, okay? The registration link is in the chat below, and you will be emailed login credentials, okay? All right, now let's get down to business. Thank you for sticking with me so far. Okay, so here's a chart on the SPY here, and we did break down through the T-line. That's something I never like. I'm a pretty fan of the T-line, pretty much a fan of it right there. And we did close below it. However, we did close back above the trend indicator, okay? So it looks like there's a little bit of support right through here, and the bulls didn't give up too much, I don't think. They certainly weren't working very hard, but they just didn't give up very much. So I don't know. Overall, I still have a bullish bias on the market, even though we're pulling back a little bit here. We took out our 594 target, and we nailed the 593. Just boom, right there. Now, if we start seeing a little more selling to the downside, I'm going to be looking at 590 here, around that 590, that red line. Now, something I don't even want to think about, might have to though. If we start getting below 590, there is a good chance we come back down here to the 200 period moving average, which is right there, okay? And that's sitting there at about 579, okay? Now, let's take a look at the Qs here. And I think the Qs has done well. I really do. Now, the Qs, we did, once again, like the SPY, we closed below the T-line. You can see that. T-line is the black line, by the way. That's the 8 EMA for those that don't know. And then our trend indicator, the green dots, we closed above that. So again, I'm just not, I don't know, I'm still biased, that we're going to go higher. So what happens if we come down Monday? My bias is going to be the same. We're having a small pullback in a bigger picture move up. That's what I'm kind of seeing right now, okay? Now, I might change my mind on it, but right now, that's sort of what I'm seeing. I'm also spotted this, the 50 period moving average is getting awfully close to crossing back over the 200 period moving average. And that's going to be called a golden cross. That's pretty bullish. Now, just because that happens, it doesn't mean that price is just going to all of a sudden just take right off and go to the moon, okay? But that is a positive outlook if the 50 crosses back over the 200 and stays. It's got to stay, okay? The only indicator I use is this. It's T2123. TC2000 is the chart platform I want. By the way, if you're interested in TC2000, there's a link below. It says it down there in the chat where there's a $25 coupon for you if you want to download and get TC2000. So grab that coupon, use that code there. You can see here that price has come down below our trend indicator. Let me grab my arrow here. There we go. Change that to yellow. Price has moved below the trend indicator. The T line has moved below the trend indicator. This yellow line is the 34 EMA, and the trend indicator has now moved below the 34. This is not good, okay? This is not good. So I see this, even though I still think, I'm more of a bullish outlook. I know this is moving down, and I follow this an awful lot. But I think this pullback we're having, and it's all being confirmed, that it will be relatively short-lived. Now, we all know that Iran and Israel, if things escalate, then, well, this pullback we're having could last a little longer, okay? So we'll just follow the charts, follow the charts. That's the important thing. That's one of the things we teach in the room. Tuesday, on the 24th, I'll certainly be talking about that. All right, hey, let's look at a few charts that I kind of like that I see setting up, okay? IONQ, I kind of like that chart right there. IONQ, let's do this. We'll grab that. You can see my trend right there. And I draw my trend based on the trend indicator. So here I can redraw it and then make this bigger and red. There we go. So right in here is where the trend indicator changes. And then I'm just going to go to the last dot up there. That's everyone has their way of trading and the way they look at charts. And this is one way I do it. Please, I mean, there are times when I do use price action like that. But I trade, my tradable trend is the green and red dots. Anyway, enough of that. We've got a nice little bottom formed here. We came down with this hammer right here at the 50% area on our pullback. And now we're starting to move up. I think we had a great close. Let's see, this would have, with a holiday in here. That's Friday, Thursday, that's Wednesday. I think that's looking pretty good. So I'm looking for targets up here, 44, 45, and 48. If you're interested, just send me a note and we can talk about this a little bit more. Let's talk about AMD. AMD, in my opinion, my first big target on it is up here about 152. For those that's interested in what a rounded bottom breakout is, and I'll be talking a lot about that during the class or during our open house on the 24th, is right here. Very successful, very nice. And now we've broken out and we're consolidating up here. So I'm watching for that entry, and then I'm looking for a target of the 152. 18 to 19% profit on it, maybe. And that's just the stock trade, not including the bump you get with options, because I will trade that with options. Starbucks is another one I've got my eyes on. And right here is the 50% retracement right there. So that's going to be the, 3-4% away. It's hard for me to call that a target. I wouldn't trade it for that myself, but you know, some folks might. Anyway, Starbucks is setting up pretty good. And once it breaks out of this area, now I think you've got some pretty good, nice targets to the upside here, about 101. And then we'll look at 106, and then we'll see what happens from there. So I need to mark these off because I'm going to do another video, and we're going to have more charts on that as well. So anyway, you know what? Let's call this an end. 10 minutes. We're going on 10 minutes here, 11 minutes. So I want to say thank you again for watching our video. I will get another one out, and please do sign up for that open house class on Tuesday, the 24th. Okay. Thank you, everyone. And we'll talk to you soon. Have a great weekend.